Friends, hello. I am so thankful that you are here. So, we're going to talk about a very important subject, and that is test anxiety. So many people I know have test anxiety. And I really want to make sure that we go over test anxiety, not that it will completely eliminate test anxiety for you, but if you can understand a little bit more about it, then you can understand why it happens and how to help manage your test anxiety. So that's what we're here today talking about. Welcome. If you're new here, I'm just so thankful that you're here. And if you're returning, welcome back. I'm Michelle. So glad to see all of you. Now, do me a quick favor and give this video a thumbs up because that tells YouTube to send out videos like this to people like you that need my videos. So please do me a favor and give this video a thumbs up. Okay, so I have quite a few questions that I'm going to be asking you as we go through this, okay? And I want you to be as engaged as possible in the chat just because it makes it a little bit more fun. Okay. So my first question is, what are some of your biggest fears or concerns about taking tests? So type in the chat, what are some of your biggest fears or concerns about taking tests? Okay, now let's understand test anxiety. So, really, test anxiety, the definition is you go into a test and you're just so nervous and you can't handle it, right? And so the reason you're so nervous or the reason that you don't do as well on a test is because your brain is like this, okay? And so your brain kind of starts from the inside and it works its way out. So the inside of your brain is going to be covering just your basic survival skills, right? Food, shelter, water, reproduction, right? That's the middle part of your brain. And then the next part of your brain is going to be more of the emotions. So this is where test anxiety comes in, right? So it shows love, hate, anxiety, right in there, that middle part of your brain. And the outer portion of your brain, that's what I call the smarts, okay? That's where you're able to access everything that you need in order to take tests. But the problem is, if you are really anxious, you're only in that middle portion of your brain. And if you're only in that middle portion of your brain and you're just so anxious, you're not going to be able to reach the outer portion of your brain and you're not going to do as well on your tests. So that's really how test anxiety works with your brain. So when people say that they do worse on a test than they do on the regular homework, that might actually be true because you're not understanding or you're not able to reach the smarter part of your brain. Even if you know the information, your body and your brain are too overwhelmed by anxiety to actually do well. Okay, so we have a comment here that says, I am scared to absolutely. I have some reading videos that can help you with that. You're going to sit for the RLA this coming Sunday. So this video could not have come at a better time for you. With test anxiety, you've got to practice some of these strategies that we will go over that will help with your RLA exam. Okay. All right. So a couple of the reasons why people have test anxiety. First is the fear of failure, right? The fear that you're going to fail the test. I'm going into the test, I'm going to fail, right? Another is perfectionism. If you can't do it right, you're not going to do it at all. And or if I can't go in and really do well on that test if I don't get it all perfect. Sometimes that is a cause of stress anxiety or of test anxiety. Also, negative self-talk. Oh, Michelle, you're just so stupid. You can't get this. You're not smart enough. That negative self-talk also is test anxiety. Have you guys noticed the posters, right? You can do this, right? Here's another one. Trust yourself. You can do this. So that comes a lot with positive self-talk, right? But if we have negative self-talk, that's going to make you do worse on your test. Okay. So I have a question for you, another question. Have you ever experienced test anxiety? So comment down below and tell me if you've ever experienced test anxiety. And if so, what are some of the symptoms you felt? How did you feel? Maybe like cold hands, maybe shaking. How did you feel when you experienced test anxiety? And let me tell you my story about test anxiety. So, I went to college and I was taking this college chemistry class. Okay, I still have PSD, there we go. When I think about this class, but I would be so nervous. I would study the materials, but I would go in and I would physically be shaking. I was so nervous for this test. And that was my freshman year. And I just hated it. And I'm like, I am the queen of test anxiety. I hate this. I don't, school's okay, but I hate taking tests. Like I hated it so much. And then my next year, I decided that having this negative attitude, having this test anxiety, this negative self talk is not doing me any good at all. So, what I decided was, I've studied, I've practiced. I'm going to switch my brain and I'm going to think about this like a party, right? The test is a party. And so instead of being nervous and scared, I will go in and celebrate all that I've studied. I will go in and celebrate all of this knowledge that I have gained through my studying, and my test is going to be a party. And just by switching that in my brain, I actually did a lot better on the test because I wasn't as nervous. I wasn't as scared. My life wasn't going to fall apart. Okay. That's one of my stories about test anxiety. But let's go over a few coping strategies. We have a few more comments here. I'm having plenty of anxiety problems. My mind is saying I will fail. Please help. That's where you have to be saying to yourself over and over, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, right? I failed my driver's written exam due to test anxiety, but I made it up. Yeah, absolutely. The nice thing about the GED and the HiSET, if you don't pass, you can retake it, right? Okay, let's talk about three coping strategies. Okay, I have three main strategies followed by sub strategies. Okay, the first one here is going to be preparation and practice. Sometimes people go into the GED or the HiSET test and they don't really know what to expect. They go in, they take it, and they're not ready. And so, of course, they're going to fail, right? If you're not ready for the test, of course, you will fail. And that's why I have this YouTube channel full of free resources to help you on your test, right? So, preparation and practice is definitely key. So, regularly studying, practice with sample tests. Many of my videos are going over sample tests that will help you be more prepared for your actual test. Also, check out some local programs and other online resources that can really help you get prepared before you go in and take the test. So a few things that people might use. So active recall. My favorite one is spaced repetition. If you go back, you look on my Instagram or Facebook or even YouTube. On Saturday, I posted a YouTube short or a reel, an Instagram reel about spaced repetition. So basically, that is you study for a little while, you take a break, you study for a little while, you take a break. Actually, that's called Pomodoro. But the spaced repetition is you learn something and then you take a little break and maybe a 10-minute break. You relearn, you study it up again, you take a break for a day, you study the material, take a break for a week, study the material, take a break for a month, study the material. And you'll learn it so much more than if you just go in and study it once, forget it all, then right before the test, cram and study more. That is completely ineffective. And so definitely want to make sure that you space out your learning and your reviewing, and you'll do so much better. Okay, flashcards. Does anybody use flashcards here? Flashcards are so helpful because you're just, especially like multiplication, let's say, just flipping through your flashcards, making sure that you know how to do it. Even rewriting problems over and over, math problems, or maybe watching my videos. Watch part of the video, pause it, read, answer the question, and then listen to how I answer it. And then maybe in a couple days, watch the same video and see how you do it. Vitosis says, I love flashcards. That's fantastic. Me too. Flashcards can be so helpful. Oh my gosh. I don't know how to say your name. Ridwanwell. I don't know how to say your name, so I apologize for that. But you passed the three of the other subjects just by watching my videos. Oh, that makes me so happy. Good luck on that RLA. You'll rock it if you're prepared and ready and you believe in yourself, right? So I want to know what study techniques have you found to be most helpful when preparing for your GED or your HiSET? So comment down below. Like I said, this is an interactive video. So what study techniques have you found most helpful while studying for the GED or HiSET? Okay, our next question is that positive mindset. Have you ever noticed that at the end of my videos, at the end of every video, every long video, the short video is not as much, but I tell you to make sure that you believe in yourself? Have you noticed that? Are you watching to the end of the videos where you can see that? You've got to believe in yourself. And then, of course, having these posters around reminding you as well. So, the negative self talk that you have, the talk of, I can't do this, I'm not smart enough, I'm scared, that is getting in your head. And just like I talked at the beginning of the video, we have the 3 stages of the brain, right? The the base layer of your brain that does all your daily functions, and then the next layer with the emotions. If you are stuck in the emotions of I can't do this, you're not going to reach the outer portion of your brain that has the smarts, right? So instead of saying I can't do this, maybe throw the word yet after that. I can't do this yet. Or maybe I can do this. I will try. I will try my best. Think about it like a party, like I was saying that I did in my statistics class when I was a sophomore, right? If you change your mindset to instead of it being a scary test, but it being a party, a celebration of all that you've studied, then you're going to go in and do much better on your test. Okay. So again, what study techniques have you found to be most helpful? Okay. So Z-Test says that I've passed the process of taking the CPP HiSET, and I passed the math and writing subtest both on your first try. That's fantastic, but I failed reading twice. That happens. That happens. I recommend that sleigh technique if you've seen me do that in some of my videos. Definitely worthwhile. Okay, another thing with our positive mindset when we're dealing with test anxiety is practice some techniques. Okay, so relaxation techniques. So deep breathing. If you close your eyes and you take a deep breath in and out like this, it's going to relax your whole body. And if you're a little shaky right before you take a test because you're nervous, practicing relaxing your body will help you so much because you'll be able to reach that outer portion of your brain. Also, meditation, maybe listening to positive things, saying, I can do this, I believe in myself, I will do my best. Having meditations or words like that in your head will also really help you. And the third one is progressive muscle relaxation. So if you tighten up all of your muscles as tight as you can, and then you slowly, like one hand at a time or one foot at a time, just slowly release all of your muscles, that's going to relax your entire body. And when you're more relaxed, you will do better on your tests. So that's another tip for you. So back to the positive affirmations. That's where my next question here comes for you. What are some positive affirmations you can use to boost your confidence before a test? So, what are positive affirmations you can use to boost your confidence before a test? So, you're about to take the test. What words can you say to yourself? Type it in the chat and let us know. Share with us what you might use. Okay, my last tip here is time management. So, really taking understanding that you have a certain amount of time on the test. So, let's say I think the math test, if you calculate it, you get about a minute and a half to answer each math problem. Now, I have a student who was telling me that that just freaks her out, right? That makes her even more anxious when she thinks about how much time she has to take the test. And so if this makes you nervous, don't do it. Okay? Don't do it. Just but keeping an eye on the clock and knowing, okay, I'm about halfway through my time and I'm about halfway through the questions, that can help. Or even if you answer the easier ones first, because those go faster, that can really help as well. So make sure you pace yourself and skip those difficult questions. Don't spend too much time on those hard questions. And then you can always mark a little flag on those questions. And then you can come back to those tough questions at the end. And then just guess. If you're running out of time, make sure you have enough time so that you can guess on some of those tricky ones. So, my question for you now is, have you ever struggled with time management during your test? So, comment down below and tell me, and do you have any strategies that have helped you with pacing out your questions? Okay, speaking of questions, those are going to be my three main tips for you, right? So preparation and practice, positive mindset, and time management. All three of those are really going to help you with your test anxiety. We've got a couple more comments here. Is there any common comprehension which comes all the time in the final exam? I don't think I quite understand your question there. I think with comprehension, I think a lot of times they'll ask you what is the main idea. So knowing comprehension is really important. I do recommend for the reading science social studies test that you do a quick skim of the article, look at the questions a little bit if you can, and then read the article and then answer the questions. And that will really help you. It'll make your reading a little more purposeful, and then you'll do better. Okay, time. So Zita said, time really played a huge role in my anxiety for sure. However, I didn't even finish the exams I took, and you still passed. That is amazing. Sometimes I hear that people they study up for or they're taking the test, they don't finish, but they still pass. And that's probably like, you know, crazy roller coaster of emotions, right? The time runs out, you're not done, you're stressed, you're anxious, and then you get your results back and you pass. And whew, I can't even imagine how that must feel. But remember, you don't have to get all the questions right to pass the HiSET or the GED test. You only have to get, maybe around 50%, maybe a little bit more to pass the test. So keep that in mind too. And if you don't pass, well, you study up a little bit more and you take it again. And doing not just knowing that, I think relieves a little bit of anxiety. However, if you're taking the depending upon which test you're taking and what state you live in, they might put certain restrictions. So in some states, like the high set, maybe only once every, you can only take it 3 times a year. Whereas like the GED, maybe you take the test in some states, you take the test, you don't pass, and then you can't take it again for like 45 days or something like that. Really just depends upon your location where you live. Okay, I faced time management problem during my math test. Again, yeah, that's sometimes an issue that people have. Practice, practice. See if you can get a little bit faster. One tip to get faster on the math test is know your multiplication. I know I feel like it's like beating a dead horse saying that, right? Like people say that all the time, know your multiplication, but really it's a time test And if you have to take the time to fumble around on your calculator, what is 6 times 7? And you have to go to the calculator 6 times 7, you're going to be wasting your time when you could easily just write 42 and then continue on with the problem. So knowing your multiplication is very, very important. Okay, friends, do you have any other questions about test anxiety or any other tips or anything to help your fellow classmates here online, your fellow friends that are working on their GED or their HiSET? Please leave the comments for me down below. Zeta said, I can only take the reading test one more time this calendar year. So I'm nervous since I failed twice. I watched all your videos and practiced. I don't know what went wrong. Tips. So my biggest tip is to follow the SLAY technique. So again, it's just an acronym. S stands for skim. Take a quick look at it. Look at what the article is about. And then L, look at the questions. I know that takes a little bit of time to kind of scroll through, but at least look through a couple of the questions. And then A, actually read. A, answer the questions. And then Y, check your work. That is a really good tip to help with reading. But honestly, it's just going to be practice. Non-native speakers definitely have a harder time with the reading test because you just have to read fast and you have to have a really solid comprehension. And so practice is key. I also recommend a speed reading program, and I'll leave it in the link after or in the description box after the video. But if you can teach yourself how to read faster, that will be really helpful too, because then you won't be running out of time as much and you'll be able to focus more on the questions than just on the reading. Okay, Michael says hi. Hi, Michael. And Zita says, I think it also depends upon what excerpts and questions you get. Some are easier and some are harder. Absolutely. Absolutely. Some are easier, some are harder. Some of them maybe you're more interested in, and some of them are completely boring, right? And so it really just depends. Okay? And it's luck of the draw on what those excerpts are and what those questions are. Oh, Michael, he says, I'm thankful for these. Good. I'm so glad to hear it. I'm thankful that you're here. I'm thankful that all of you are here. We have about a minute left. If there's anything you want to put in the chat, I will address it. And if not, just remember the three things that we addressed: preparation and practice. Make sure you're ready for the test. Watch a lot of videos, do a lot of practice problems, practice tests. Have a positive mindset, right? Make sure that you believe in yourself, and that will help you reach the outer portion of your brain, right? Believe in yourself, say positive affirmations to yourself. And then also time management, just keeping an eye on the clock so that you don't run out of time. Well, friends, that is it. Thank you so much for being here. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you like these YouTube lives. I've been doing them for the last couple of weeks, and let me know if you want me to keep doing them or if I should be focusing my time on maybe something else. So please let me know if these YouTube lives are worth your time. Okay. We've got a couple of quick things. It's not easy to make accommodations for non-English speakers too. I know it's tough. Non-native English speakers, I know. And Zeta is just like on fire in the chat. Thank you, Zeta, for being here. You were only a few points away from passing both times. That is so frustrating. So frustrating. I'm sorry. Keep studying, keep practicing. Check out this speed reading program that I'll put in after the video, and maybe that will help you too. But you're thankful for me and my videos. They're the reasons why you got so close. Oh, that makes my day. Thank you. I'm so thankful that I have been able to help you and really help so many other people. Please do me a favor and share my videos. Okay. Share my channel with other people, and that will be really helpful. Caitlin, hi, Kate. She's one of my students. She said she suffers from test anxiety. And I said, come on my video today. Hi, Kate. I'm so glad you're here. Yes, keep on trying. You can do this. You're going to get this. Kate here will probably have her her GED HiSET within the next couple months. So I'm so happy for you. All right, friends, that is all. Thank you for being here. I believe in you, and make sure that you believe in yourself too. And I'll see you in another video, and I'll see you on our next YouTube live stream next week. Okay, peace, my friends, and God bless.